Welcome to Fascia Fix. Today we are going to be fascia fixing our piriformis area. The piriformis is a muscle that's in your glute area. It's a muscle that can sometimes get really flared up, painful, sometimes referred to as piriformis dysfunction. When that happens, it can be a dull ache that's really irritating and lasts for a long time. The fascia in that area runs in and around and through the piriformis, so when you stretch it, it really allows that muscle to come back to a more healthy state. When you think of a piriformis muscle, or any muscle in particular, that is healthy, think of almost like a piece of meat, and that it can kind of move around and it has color to it. And then you think of the opposite, which is something like beef jerky. So if your piriformis is more like beef jerky and dense and hard and not really easily moved, compared to something that's healthy, you can understand a little bit of where that kind of pain and discomfort might be, or even just that it's not functioning as optimally as you would like if you're an athlete or a runner. I struggle with piriformis dysfunction, so this is a resistance stretch I do quite often. Let's get started. So you're gonna make your way down to the floor. I use a folded up blanket. You can also use a pillow for this because we will be lifting your head up and down or keeping it down. So if your neck gets a little bit uncomfortable, then you can just put your head down for these. So first you're gonna make your way onto your back with your knees bent. Settle in here, making sure that you feel that your spine is connected to the floor. We're first gonna cross our left ankle over the right knee. When we do this, typically this hip will just naturally fall down and away. What we want to do is actually lift that hip slightly so that the hips are now level. I'm going to push down actively through the leg that's not moving, which is my right leg. That's going to give my back extra support and then tighten my muscles to give a little bit extra stability. So when we stretch this area, typically in traditional form, you bring your knee to your chest until you feel the stretch in your glute. With resistance stretching, it's the opposite. We want to shorten the area that we're going to be stretching, in this case, the left piriformis. Then we want to add resistance, and we're going to move through that resistance in the opposite direction. So first, I'm going to take both hands and reach up to the outside of my left knee. I'm going to push both my ankle into my knee and my knee away from my chest. Once I do that, and I feel it in my left glute area, I'm going to use the strength of my arms to draw that knee across towards the opposite shoulder. Reach it out, open it, resist, pause. Find that active, feel that action as you're pulling across. So you're always activating, you're always resisting through the movement. So as I continue to resist and stretch this area, what I might find is that I might want to move my foot a little bit and gain a little bit different stretch. So let me try first to take a rest for my neck for a moment, bring my foot up a little bit higher. I'm going to emphasize now pushing this ankle even deeper and stronger into my knee, and then come back to the knee, find your resistance. Both of them are resisting away. I'm finding this effort now a little bit more on the outside of my lateral glute area where they attach. I'm going to lift up a little higher, see if I can get a little bit more. Starting to feel the strength build in my upper body. My breath is going to increase a little bit to give myself oxygen. Now I'm going to bring the foot down a little bit. If this isn't comfortable for your knee or your hip, you don't have to do this. I'm just going to give you some options of different placements that you can have with your foot. Reset your right leg, press that ankle into now just above the hip on the thigh. Kick that knee away and draw it towards maybe your sternum now. So you're just changing that angle slightly. I'm getting this a little bit deeper, closer to my issue tuberosity or my butt bone, kind of where there's a lot of attachments of different hamstring muscles. So mine is clunking a little bit, and that's really normal because it's dense and it's tight, and so it's almost like the tissue is just kind of flipping over the bone, causing it to clunk. As you continue to resist and stretch, that actually gets better, and you should have less clunking. Just moving my foot around a little bit. Whew, and now I'm going to take a little break. Let's make our way to the other side. I'm going to angle a little bit more for you here, so you can see where my ankle placement is. First, I'm going to set my posture. This hip dipped down and I crossed over. I'm going to lift it back up. Push through the left leg so that you're active here, stabilized here. Fire your abdominals to give them a little bit extra work. Reach up both hands, grab behind the knee. Press the foot into the thigh and the knee away from the chest. Draw this knee across. This one is different for me. It's much more intense because I have a chronic hamstring injury on this side and my piriformis is really unhappy. Sometimes I do this when I'm sitting in the car, and I can show you that at the end of the video how to do this if you have an achy glutes when you're in a long road trip. Let's move that foot around a little bit, take a break with the neck. I'm going to bring this foot a little bit closer in and keep my head down for a couple reps here. Resist both of them away, really get that heel pressed into the thigh, draw it across. Resist out, feel it, pause, make sure your direction's always going away from you here. One more time here. Good. Whew. Let's change it. Bring that heel down if you're able to. Resist that leg away. Kick that heel into the thigh, pull it across. Again, this is getting a little bit deeper, closer towards my butt bone, my ischial tuberosity. Good. You might feel a lot of energy exerted in doing resistance stretches, but often after you do them, let's do one more here, there's a big release, almost a freeing feeling in your legs. Good. And let it release. Okay, so I would like to show you how I do this in a seated position. So let's pretend I'm in the car. I'm on a road trip, which I just came back from, and my glutes were really sore and achy, and I wasn't driving. Like, they don't recommend doing this when you're driving. So how would you do that? So I'm sitting in a chair. Imagine this leg is just foot down to the floor. I'm going to cross the ankle over my thigh when I'm in my car seat, and take both hands to the outside of the knee, and the same rules apply. Knee resists away, ankle resists into your thigh. Once you feel it in that glute area, draw that knee up towards your chest. Change your position a little bit, get a little bit different stretch. Do both sides. It's a great way to kind of get your achy glutes addressed when you're in the car. When I did it the other day, I did about maybe 5 to 10 reps on each side, and my achy glutes went away. So enjoy, have fun stretching your piriformis. If you're in a class coming up in a fitness facility or a yoga class and you're doing a classic piriformis stretch,